This girl's boyfriend is demanding that she wear diapers around the house because he says she looks hotter that way. This is going to sound insane, but I need outside perspective because I can't tell if I'm overreacting. My boyfriend Dean, 28, and I, 24F, have been together about a year and a half, living together for 7 months. Things were normal until maybe 2 months ago when he brought up this thing. We were just sitting around one Saturday and he asks if I'd be willing to try wearing protection at home. I thought he meant like when I'm on my period, so I said sometimes I do wear pads, and he got this look on his face and said no, like actual diapers. Adult ones. I laughed because I thought it was a joke, but he wasn't laughing. He said he's been thinking about it for a while and he thinks I'd look really attractive in them and it would make him happy if I'd try it. Just around the apartment, no one else would know. I said absolutely not, and he dropped it, but he seemed hurt. Didn't talk much the rest of that day. 2 weeks later, he brought it up again, said he'd done research and found brands that are discreet and comfortable, showed me a website on his phone with all these different types. I got uncomfortable and told him this wasn't something I was interested in, and he said, okay, but why won't I even try it once? It's just us, what's the harm? The thing is, Dean's usually really respectful about boundaries. Like early on, I told him I didn't like hickeys and he never pushed it. So this felt different, like he genuinely didn't understand why I was saying no. Last week, he ordered some. I found the package in our closet when I was looking for my winter boots. It was already opened. 4 diapers missing from a pack of 12. I confronted him and he admitted he's been wearing them himself sometimes when I'm at work because if I won't try it, at least he can. That made it worse somehow. I asked if this was a sexual thing and he said not exactly, more like aesthetic preference. He just finds it visually appealing and comforting. He pulled up photos on his phone of women modeling them, said, look how cute this looks. Don't you think you'd look good like this? I don't know how to explain, but the photos weren't like porn or fetish stuff. They were just normal-looking women in diapers doing regular things. Folding laundry, sitting on a couch. It felt wronger than if it had been obviously sexual. He's been bringing it up every few days now. Yesterday, he said he'd compromise and I could just wear them for an hour in the evening while we watch TV. I don't even have to use them, just wear them. He said it would mean a lot to him and he does things for me all the time, which is true, he does. He drives me to work twice a week because my car's been broken. He cooks most nights. But I don't ask him to do those things, and also those are normal relationship things, not wearing incontinence products for his visual enjoyment. This morning, I found another pack in the bathroom cabinet. Size small, definitely bought for me, not him. I didn't say anything about it yet. I feel like I'm going crazy because on paper, this is what? He wants me to wear a specific thing at home. Couples have weird requests all the time. But every time he brings it up, I get this crawling feeling and I can't articulate why it bothers me so much. He's making dinner right now and acting normal, and I'm sitting here pretending to look at my phone, but actually I'm typing this out, trying to figure out if this is actually weird or if I'm being too rigid. Comment 1. Girl run. This man has a fetish he's lying about, and he's trying to slowly coerce you into participating. Just for an hour will turn into every evening, then every time you're home, then he'll want you to wear them out under your clothes. I've seen this pattern before with other fetishes that people try to introduce by downplaying. Also, the aesthetic preference thing is bullshit. He's getting off on this sexually and won't admit it because he knows that makes it harder to manipulate you into doing it. Trust your gut feeling that something's wrong because something is wrong, OP replied. That's what I keep thinking, that if I do it once, he'll just want more. But he keeps saying I'm being unfair by not even trying, and sometimes when he says it, I feel like maybe I am. Like, what if I try it once and hate it, and he accepts that, and we move on? Comment 1 replied, you already know you'll hate it. You don't need to try something to know you don't want it. If someone asked you to eat dog shit, you wouldn't need to try a bite first to confirm you're not into it. You've said no clearly multiple times. The fact that he won't accept that is the entire problem here. OP replied, okay, that made me laugh, gross, but point taken. I guess I'm just worried because everything else in our relationship is good, and this feels like such a specific weird thing to break up over. Like, how do I even explain that to people? Update, he started crying. Had the conversation with Dean last night. Told him directly this isn't something I'm ever going to be comfortable with, and he needs to stop asking. He got quiet for a minute, then started tearing up. Said he's never felt like he could be fully himself with anyone before, and he thought I was different, thought I'd be open-minded. I tried to explain this isn't about being open-minded, it's about my comfort. And he said, what about his comfort? What about what makes him feel good? Then he really started crying, like full-on sobbing, and said when he wears them, he feels safe and calm, and he wanted to share that feeling with me. He said his ex-girlfriend found out about this and left him, and he's terrified I'm going to do the same thing, and he can't go through that again. I felt like such an asshole. He was sitting on the edge of the bed with his face in his hands, and I didn't know what to do. I sat next to him and said I wasn't leaving, but I also couldn't do this specific thing, and there had to be some middle ground. He asked what middle ground, and honestly, I didn't have an answer. We just sat there for a while until he went to take a shower. This morning, he was acting totally normal again, made coffee, kissed me goodbye before work, told me to have a good day, like last night didn't happen. But when I got home tonight, the pack that was in the bathroom cabinet is gone. I checked the closet, and all of them are gone, his and the ones he bought for me. I don't know if he threw them out or hid them somewhere else. Part of me feels relieved, but part of me feels worse because now it feels like he's just suppressing this and resenting me for it. Update. Found his Reddit account. Couldn't sleep last night and did something I'm not proud of. Went through Dean's laptop while he was asleep. I know that's a violation, but I needed to understand what this actually was. Found his Reddit account pretty easily. He uses the same username format for everything. There's years of posts in ABDL subreddits. That stands for Adult Baby Diaper Lover, and I've been reading through posts for 2 hours now, and I feel sick. It's not just wearing them. There's a whole lifestyle component. Some people want to be treated like babies, want someone to change them, bottle feed them, talk to them in baby voice. Dean's posts are mostly in the DL side, not the AB side, which I guess means he's not into the baby roleplay part, just the diaper part, but it's still so much more than he told me. He's posted photos, not of his face, but of himself wearing them. Dozens of photos over the past 3 years. Comments from other people telling him he looks good, asking what brand, sharing their own photos. There's posts asking for advice on how to introduce this to a vanilla partner. Multiple people told him to start slow, normalize it gradually, don't dump it all at once. Someone literally wrote, get her to try it once, and she might discover she likes it more than she thinks. He made a post about me 6 months ago. Didn't use my name, but it's obviously me based on details, asking how long people waited before telling their partners. Someone responded that they waited until after moving in together, because then the partner is more invested and less likely to leave. Dean replied, that makes sense, thanks. So he knew before we moved in together and specifically waited. I confronted him this morning before work. Told him I knew about the Reddit account and I'd seen everything. He didn't deny it, but he also didn't apologize, just said I had no right to go through his private shit, and that stuff online is fantasy, not real life. I asked if the plan was always to slowly push me into this until I gave in, and he said no. He genuinely thought if I just tried it, I'd see it wasn't a big deal and maybe even like it. Said he loves me, and this is just one aspect of who he is, and why can't I accept all of him? I'm staying at my friend Rachel's place tonight. Told work I'm sick because I can't function right now. Dean's been texting, asking when I'm coming home and saying we need to talk about this like adults. Update. He's been wearing my underwear. Went back to the apartment this afternoon with Rachel to pack a bag of clothes. Dean was supposed to be at work, but he'd called in sick, was there when we arrived. He tried to get me to talk to him alone, and Rachel said absolutely not. He got pissy about that, said this was between us and having her there was making it impossible to have a real conversation. I told him we could talk with Rachel present or not at all. We stood in the living room, awkward as fuck, and he did this whole speech about how he loves me and he's willing to go to couples counseling and figure this out. Said he'd stop bringing it up if that's what I needed, but he can't change who he is fundamentally. I was going to just grab my stuff and leave, but then I went to get clothes from the bedroom, and the drawer where I keep my underwear was partially open. I never leave it open. Looked inside, and 3 pairs were missing, ones I know I didn't pack when I left. Found them in his drawer under his socks. They'd been worn, I could tell. 1 pair was stretched out wrong. I lost it. Came back into the living room holding them and asked what the fuck this was. Dean went white. Rachel looked confused until I explained, and then she told him he was disgusting. He tried to say it wasn't sexual, he wanted to feel close to me while I was gone, and wearing something of mine was comforting. I asked if he wore them with the diapers, and he didn't answer, which was an answer. Rachel started yelling at him. I've never heard her yell like that. Called him a sick fuck and a pervert and said if he'd done this shit to her, she'd have him arrested. Dean told her to get out of his apartment, and she said it's my apartment too, and we're both leaving. I packed as much as I could fit in 2 bags. Dean followed me around trying to explain, saying I was overreacting, saying the underwear thing was a separate issue and I was conflating everything to make him look worse than he was. When we were leaving, he grabbed my wrist, not hard, but enough to stop me, and said if I walked out now we were done and I needed to think about if I really wanted to throw away our whole relationship over this. Rachel shoved him back and we left. I'm filing to break the lease tomorrow. I'll figure out the money somehow. I'd rather go into debt than stay there. Eat it. Dean's mom just called me. I didn't even know he'd told his parents about us fighting. She said Dean's very upset and she's worried about him, and could I please just come home and work this out because relationships take compromise. I said he didn't tell you what this is actually about, did he? There was a long pause, and she said it didn't matter what the specific issue was, walking out wasn't the solution. Told her to ask her son about the underwear and hung up. And that's it for this trash story. Thanks for your hopefully not wasted time. If you want more stories like this or from other subreddits, subscribe or at least drop a like. At least I'll know someone's actually into this. Bye, guys.